Have you ever seen this kind of footage before?
I have once, yeah.
You have? Yeah.
It's an interesting display, though.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Are you part of the...
I'm part of this group, yeah. What do you think about when you see this? How does it make you feel?
Conflicted.
Conflicted?
Right.
That's an interesting word. Tell me why.
Because I recognize that it's immoral. However, our society is based on this being a necessity now.
A necessity?
Yeah, I see it as a necessity.
Right. You don't think that we can survive without eating animals?
I think we could.
Yeah.
I think the infrastructure of our economy and how our food system is developed is, if we were to stop this immediately, we wouldn't all have food to eat.
We wouldn't?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Do you?
I think that the vision is possible.
Sure.
Like that. Oh.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Do you know what we feed these animals?
Probably bad stuff. Stuff that we're eating in the end, right?
We're feeding them plants. Right. So there are 60 billion land animals slaughtered every year for food.
Okay.
So there's only 7.5 billion of us.
Right.
The majority, or at least half of our crops that we grow on this planet, go towards feeding the animals that we slaughter, that we then eat. But we could simply redirect those resources and eat the plants ourselves, couldn't we?
Theoretically, it makes sense.
Yeah, so we've already got
So what would we
food.
be eating then? If we were to follow that out theoretically, what would we be eating?
Sure, so you take out meat, dairy, eggs. What are you left with?
Fruits and veggies.
Everything else. You think, like, you walk through the supermarket, you take out three main food groups of meat, dairy, and I don't like calling them food groups because I don't see it as food, we see it as violence, right? But anyhow, we take those things out, you're left with grains and pasta and legumes and fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, a plethora of foods.
And there's enough protein in there.
Where do the animals get their protein from, do you think?
Plants.
Yeah. So what we're doing is when we eat the animals, we are filtering our nutrients through their dead bodies.
Right.
But if we eat the plants, we're getting those nutrients directly into us. So every plant food, whole plant food, is made up of carbohydrates, protein, and fats. So you can't not get protein if you're eating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
I got a question though.
Yes.
Are our digestive systems set up to be omnivores? Omnivore?
Okay, so do you know what our leading cause of death is?
Probably heart disease?
You got it. Yes, most people don't know that. They think it's either war or accidents or something. It's heart disease.
Meat, right?
Heart disease is caused by saturated fat and cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is only found in animal products, not in any plant food.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And a lot of people don't. And saturated fat is predominantly found in animal products, only a small amount in plant foods.
Okay.
So, if the number one thing that's killing the most amount of humans on the planet, 17.5 million people a year, that's a lot of people, is caused by eating animals, do you think we're supposed to eat them? Put it this way, does a lion... It doesn't make sense, does it? Does a lion get heart disease?
No.
No, so that's a carnivore. A dog, do dogs get heart disease? They're omnivores.
What if we ate good meat though?
What's good meat?
Animals that are eating a varied diet.
Okay, so regardless of what we feed the animals, they still contain cholesterol and saturated fat. So they still affect us. And no, we're not designed to eat them because a omnivore, like a dog, doesn't matter how much meat you feed them or where that meat comes from. They could eat roadkill. They're not going to develop the diseases that we developed that are caused by eating animal products. So we are designed to eat plants. And when you think about it logically, it makes sense, doesn't it?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But the system's not set up for you to think about it logically.
Why do you think that is?
There's a lot of money in it.
Exactly. Right? You are like the smartest person I've talked to tonight. Thank you for coming along. You've made my evening.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
You're making those connections.
Yeah.
They don't show us this for a reason.
Right.
Because it doesn't look pretty, does it? Does it make you hungry?
Not really.
Yeah. So if they showed customers this is what happens for the bacon to end up on your breakfast plate, people would be like, nah, I don't think so. I might choose the oatmeal instead. Yeah. There's a lot of money to be made in animal agriculture and a lot of money to be lost if people switch to eating plants instead of animals. That's why industry doesn't show you this, but that's why we're here to show you this. The truth is the truth, and it's our moral obligation to share what we once didn't know ourselves. Everyone here was raised eating animal products because we're told that it's natural, normal, and necessary to do so, right? That's how you feel?
That's what I was told.
Exactly. I did it for 30 years. I didn't know. No one told me this. No one gave me the option. I mean, that's brutal. They're babies.
Yeah, I would prefer not to see that.
Yeah. And so the only way that we can not see this, like, as in stop it from happening, do you know what the answer is to that? How do we stop this?
What's your answer?
We stop paying for it. We stop buying it. The power is in the hands of the consumers. If we stop demanding
That's a tough thing to think about, because
well, it's empowering.
If I'm truly honest,
yes,
I've paid for this.
Yes, we all have. I know, but it's empowering because you don't have to. So we can stop this as consumers. We don't have to wait for governments to change it. We don't have to wait for industry to change anything. We aren't changing industry, but we're saying, I don't want to pay for this anymore. I want to pay for plants instead. Instead of producing animal products, produce plant products, and that's what we're going to put our money to. And that's how we stop it. It's the easiest solution.
Is there anything immediately that someone can do?
Yes. Next time you go to the store, you don't buy meat, dairy, or eggs. You pick up more plant foods to replace the calories that you would normally get from the animal products. And here in the States, you've got so many great alternatives. You have plant meats and plant milks and cheeses.
Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant anyway, so.
Sorry?
I'm lactose intolerant anyway.
Do you know why you're lactose intolerant?
Because I'm not made to drink cow milk.
You're not a baby cow.
I'm not a baby cow.
You're not a baby cow. That's the thing. You know, most people are lactose intolerant because we're not baby cows.
Yeah.
It's not made for us.
Yeah.
Our mothers made the milk that we were supposed to drink, and then we were weaned off our mother's breast milk, and that was it. You know, so
it'll be a pretty interesting demonstration.
Tell me.
It would turn a lot of heads.
Yeah.
If you had people drinking human breast milk.
They have done that. There is a video on Facebook actually where they had.
People are like, that's so weird, and then you'd be like, well, you're drinking cow milk.
That's it. It doesn't make sense. And you know, they've done demonstrations where they give people, you know, dog milk. It's not really dog milk. It's plant milk. But they'll say this is dog milk, and people are disgusted. They're revolted. Who would drink dog milk? That's sick.
Yeah.
But why do we draw that line between cows and dogs, chickens,
Because we
pigs,
just accept
cats?
what we're told.
Exactly. But if you think about it, it's an arbitrary line. It doesn't make sense.
It's sad. Yeah, I don't ever see this stuff. So.
Yeah. And I can see you're making a real deep heart connection here, and your mind is opening. So this is beautiful to witness from my perspective. It's so important because they've done nothing wrong. The only thing that they've done is they've been born into this system. We breathe them into existence solely for the purpose of raising them for food. Again, it's violence, and slaughtering them.
I think it comes from the perspective that man is at a different level, you know?
Yeah, we think we're above other species. That's called speciesism. Have you heard of that word before?
No, but it makes sense.
Yeah, so like how we have racism, sexism, heterosexism, speciesism is another ism. So it's where humans think we're above other species, and also we put certain species of animals like dogs, cats, dolphins above other animals like chickens, pigs, fish, turkeys. And what's important to remember is regardless of the species, we all have the ability to suffer. That's all that matters.
If I, let's say hypothetically, I hear what you're saying, and I go vegan this afternoon.
Yes. It will be the best day of your life.
How would my digestive system react? Would it be like, oh, I'm used to meat, you know, I'm used to this easy protein?
Yeah. What I can tell you is that your body is only going to be thankful for it long term. Because we don't need animal products, you're not doing any harm by taking them out. You're only going to improve your health, and your body is only going to thank you for it. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. In fact, it's the opposite. The longer we eat these animal products, that's where the damage is happening. So there's nothing to worry about. What if I take them all out? You don't have to be afraid of that. You have to be afraid of what if you keep putting these animal products in? What is that doing?
A lot to think about.
It is.
Easier not to.
It is, and that's why most people don't. But your heart is saying that's not right. So all we're doing here, these people here, is we're aligning our ethics with our actions. That's how you go vegan. Everybody that looks at these screens says that this is not okay, unless you're a psychopath.
It's the ability to look away.
Yeah, but if you actually looked at it, everyone's saying, you know, that's pretty gruesome. So you align your actions with your ethics, and that's how you go vegan. That's the branding, the dehorning, the clipping of the ears. They break their tails.
Why do they do it when they're alive?
Well, because this is just the beginning of their processing. Exactly. There's something wrong with that word, isn't it?
This is This is the kind of stuff that people are going to look at in 40 or 50 years.
And think it's wrong, and what the hell did we do? How did we allow this to happen?
Barbaric, right?
If it was dogs or cats? Or people?
If you want to be that gutsy,
why not?
Say that.
Why not? One of the images that is on the screen says the most humane way of killing pigs is to put them in a gas chamber and lower them into a gas chamber. And they burn from the inside out, and then we slit their throat and they bleed out. Have we put humans in a gas chamber before? It's been done. We do it to each other, we do it to them. And there's no need for it, so why are we doing it? Thank you so much. This has been one of the best conversations I've ever had. And I don't have a lot of hope sometimes. Sometimes you make a heart connection with a total stranger, and it's like everything's okay. And we can do this. We can do this. I'm from Australia. It's the same thing in my country. It's the same conversations. It's the same footage. And so long as we can reach someone's heart doing these demonstrations, it makes it all worth it, because we can stop it. And I believe in you, mate. Thank you for sharing this with me.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Josiah.
Josiah. Natasha.
Natasha.
Thank you so much. Before you run away, I'm going to give you a card. Please look at these resources. 22 days of full support here at vegan22.com. It's a free program with a mentor. So 22 days, give it a go. They will give you everything you need. Recipes, any questions you have, a forum nutritionist if you're worried about that. And it's free. So you can do it for 22 days. And it takes 21 days to change a habit. So then you're set. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Keep it up.
I'm good. Sometimes people get it. Sometimes people make that connection. That was the most powerful conversation I've ever had with anyone. He got it and he felt it in his heart, and no one has ever made me cry in a conversation. But
Oh, absolutely. Thank you guys for stopping and having that conversation with us. It really matters.
it's hard when people turn away time after time after time again. They won't even take the damn card. They won't even take the card. They won't even educate themselves, and they'll continue to pay for it. And when someone gets it, he was like at 99 points in the point system. He needed one more point to tip in to 100 to choose vegan. And he got it. And it makes it worth it. So please continue to do outreach. Please continue to speak to people. Please continue to speak from your heart and speak for the animals. Advocate for them the way you would want someone to advocate for your life, to fight for you, because it's worth it. These animals don't deserve this. And we have the privilege to know we have a duty to act. Every vegan out there has to get out and have these conversations or advocate in some way for these animals. It is the least we can do. Okay, speaking for them is the least we can do. And I think what this outreach conversation taught me is that we have to have a bit more faith, a bit more hope, and we have to keep going. As hard as it is sometimes, as frustrating as it is, there are people out there that do get it, they will change. We will stop this atrocity, we will stop this Holocaust. It's going to end, and it's going to happen in our lifetime. And we will fight to the very end, because those animals deserve it. Every single one of them deserves it.
Get there. Pretty much half the food from my dad. She's already